Okay guys, welcome to Module 1. In this module, our expert will be teaching you about the basic layouts and functionality of email marketing platforms. So get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
Alright guys, so in this lesson we're going to be covering email marketing basics, and we're going to be focusing on just one email autoresponder service. And the reason I say that is because there's tons of them out there. There's Infusionsoft, there's GetResponse, Aweber, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign. There's so many out there. And some new ones as well. Drip, Market Hero. Every day it seems like there's a new one that comes out. And the thing is, almost all of them, despite having slightly different terminology, are going to have the same basic functionality, okay? It's almost universal. Now, a lot of them are also basically all-in-one apparatuses, okay? They're moving sort of in that direction where they handle not only your email marketing, but also everything else, landing pages, webinars, creating your forms, and e-commerce related stuff, literally everything you could possibly think of. Since this course is about email marketing, we're just going to focus on those main categories having to do with email, okay? And what we're going to be doing in this lesson is covering contacts, email marketing, which is divided into autoresponders and newsletters, and automation. Once again, all of the terminology that you see here might be a little bit different depending on what autoresponder you're utilizing. However, the functionality and the concepts are all the same, and you won't have any trouble figuring out how this sort of correlates to what you're using. So to start our little tour, we're going to come over here to contacts. Now, contacts, again, we talked about terminology. Depending on what autoresponder system you're going to be using, sometimes it's called subscribers. Drip, a relatively new email marketing platform, has just come out with a new theme of their own where they don't use either of those words anymore. Now it's called people, but you get the idea and you'll be able to figure it out pretty clearly. So what we have here are all of our email lists. Under our contact list section, email lists, and this is how we sort of subdivide and segment all of our subscribers into different audiences based on what funnel they came through or what group they belong to, okay? So here we can either browse our contacts by drilling down into the different lists, or we can actually just search by name. So for example, right here, what we'll get is results, not only the emails and names, but also the lists that they belong to. So it's pretty easy to find a specific contact if you are, in fact, looking for a specific one. Let's talk about list hygiene. This is an important one here. List hygiene, the concept of list hygiene is basically having low-quality contacts on your list, contacts who don't open your emails or send you to the spam folder or that sort of thing. Actually, that hurts your deliverability. So you want to come in and do some list hygiene, which means removing people from your list or blacklisting certain emails in advance to ensure that no problematic people get added to your subscriber lists. And a lot of times your email autoresponders will have their own built-in systems for that. Another important one here is statistics. So this is really good to monitor so that you see the health of your list building over time. And this will give you information on how your growth is. That's sort of the main thing that you're looking at here, as well as what types of signups you are getting. So for example, if we were to switch the date here to the last 2 months, you'll see a lot more data here. And what we'll see is that pretty much our entire list came through API integrations with third-party platforms. So in this case, most of these people came onto our list by purchasing a product, and we had an API integration with our billing or our purchasing platform. So there's plenty of analyzing to do and plenty of searching that you could do inside of the contacts section. Let's move on now. Let's come back to the dashboard. We're going to move on to the email marketing section, okay? Now, email marketing is divided into actual real-time newsletters that you type and you send out or you schedule to go out later, or autoresponders, which means things that are automatically sent out in sequence based on a point in time from when someone joins your list, okay? So first, let's go over newsletters. If you wanted to create a newsletter, you would do that once again in real time. You could use your drag and drop email editor. Is an HTML option if you are sort of a coder and you know what you're doing in that area. However, it's recommended that you just use the drag and drop builder, and pretty much every autoresponder platform out there has one of those. You could choose a template here and then just go with it and create your email message that way. Now, in another module, we'll go over actually creating the email messages. That's not really what we're going for right now. We'll come back to the dashboard, back to email marketing, and let's talk about the difference between newsletters and autoresponders. So autoresponders, this is where you would come inside of GetResponse to set those up or to monitor those. As you can see, you've got statistics here. Keep in mind, the statistics here are not for a single broadcast. Autoresponders are based on the individual who joined your list. So from the moment that they joined, your autoresponder sequences are set up to send them an email the next day and the next day and the next day. And the cumulative performance of each of those autoresponder messages can be viewed here in the statistics columns, but it's not the same as checking out the statistics for a single broadcast, okay? And basically what you would do is you come up with an autoresponder name, and you would choose what list it applies to, and you would choose, it's recommended that you choose the same time they signed up. Because based on the person's day-to-day schedule, the only one time that you can be sure, or almost sure, that they will definitely be at a computer is the time that they were at a computer when they signed up. Okay, so that sort of makes logical sense. So it's recommended that you choose time they signed up, but you've got some other options here as well. And choose days of the week. And right here for this message, if we wanted it to go out immediately after they signed up, for example, if we want to immediately deliver a lead magnet after they opted in for a lead magnet, like a free report or something, we would set this to day 0, okay, and it'll go out immediately, okay? But for subsequent days, so the next day would be day 1, we recommend that you stick with same time that they signed up. Again, this is GetResponse, but the process is usually the same for other email platforms that still have autoresponder sequences. And that's pretty much it for autoresponders. One note, don't get autoresponders confused with automation, which is what we're going to be looking at momentarily. Let's come over here to drafts. And drafts are pretty self-explanatory. If you're in the middle of creating an email and you don't quite get it finished, you can save it as a draft or just save it in case your computer shuts down or something. All of that will be found here. You can grab these and pick up right where you left off and send those, okay? So now let's come back to the dashboard. And the final part of the email marketing equation is automation. Now this is different from autoresponder sequences. Autoresponder sequences are kind of just, cut and dry, day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. There's no customization. There's no adaptation based on behavior. The whole idea behind automation is creating workflows that change and adjust themselves based on the behavior of your subscribers. It gets pretty in-depth. It's a pretty nifty tool to have. You would basically come over here to click Create Workflow to create one, and we'll do that in another module. Or what you could do is come over here and mess with an existing one or check out the performance of an existing one. So that's pretty much it for the basic overview of the basic functionality of email autoresponders. Again, I know I've beat this dead horse a few times. Keep in mind, terminology may be different, but functionality is pretty much the same no matter what email autoresponder service you're using. Now let's move on to the next module where we're going to get more into the actual emails themselves.